The World Cup in Qatar is still the talk of the town just about anywhere in the world right now, as the planet's most talented footballers gather for a festival of football in the Middle East. However, for some of our favourite stars, it's likely that this will be the last time we see them on the biggest stage, as they begin to wind down towards international retirement. Or at least you would think so. In this video, we'll look at some of our favourite stars of past and present, and relive some of their best moments ahead of what could be their final World Cup, including two of the biggest names in the sport's history. Luka Modric, Croatia. We start with Real Madrid's Croatian magician and midfield legend Luka Modric, who was one game away from saying he's achieved a lot in football. Anyone who plays at the top of their game for Real Madrid as long as Modric has is likely to have an incredible trophy cabinet, and the 37-year-old is no different, having won 3 La Liga titles to go with his 5 Champions League medals. But 4 years ago, Modric was 90 minutes away from his greatest ever achievement, as his little-fancied Croatia side shocked everyone to reach the World Cup final in Russia in 2018, only to be beaten by a star-studded France side. The mercurial midfielder is already widely thought of as the best Croatian footballer of all time, but would have sealed the deal had the game followed a different path. He will get one last crack of World Cup glory this time around in Qatar. Sergio Busquets, Spain. From one legendary La Liga midfielder who nearly has the full set to one that already has the full set. The trophy cabinet belonging to Barcelona and Spain's Sergio Busquets is just ridiculous. As part of arguably the greatest club team of all time in that Barca era from 2009 onwards, Busquets has achieved the clean sweep as one club man, clinching 8 La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Reys, and 3 Champions League winners' medals. Unlike the aforementioned Modric, Busquets had the pleasure of being the deep-lying midfielder in a legendary Spanish national team that was so dominant at the beginning of the last decade. The European Championships win in 2012 was sweet, but nothing beats the World Cup title Busquets achieved in 2010, when fellow Barca legend Andres Iniesta struck the only goal in extra time to defeat the Netherlands in South Africa. At 34, this is likely to be the last time we see Busquets at a World Cup. His Spain side aren't as highly thought of as the one that won it 12 years ago, but could he captain his side to a surprise second World Cup title? Robert Lewandowski, Poland. Little is generally expected of Poland at international tournaments, but Robert Lewandowski's goals give them a chance of causing an upset or two. The tall goal machine dominated the Bundesliga for so long that he swapped Germany for Spain this season, and is banging the goals in for Barcelona instead, and will hope to carry those goals onto the big stage in Qatar, in what could be his last World Cup. At club level, Lewandowski makes football, scoring goals in particular, look very, very easy. He has 13 goals in 14 appearances in La Liga for Barcelona, having plundered 312 goals on his way to 10 Bundesliga titles. Unsurprisingly, Lewandowski is Poland's top goalscorer of all time and will captain the side in what will probably be his last World Cup, aged 34, scoring 76 goals for his country. Only Ferenc Puskás and Cristiano Ronaldo have scored more for European nations. Despite all those goals for Poland, Lewandowski has only appeared at one World Cup and is yet to score a goal on the world's biggest stage. Expectations of Poland are low, but with one of the world's hottest goal scorers in their side playing in his last World Cup, anything can happen. Luis Suarez, Uruguay. For all the goals and dazzling moments of undoubted genius, the World Cup legacy of Luis Suarez surrounds 2 moments in particular: an infamous handball and an even more infamous bite. During the 2010 World Cup, Suarez was part of a deadly attacking trio involving Diego Forlán and Edinson Cavani, and the 3 of them dazzled as Uruguay shocked the world to reach the semi-finals. Suarez struck 3 goals in his 6 appearances, but his contribution in the quarters against Ghana was perhaps his most shocking contribution of the whole tournament. At 1-1 in extra time, Suarez appeared to make a heroic last-ditch save on his own goal line with his hand, illegally stopping Dominic Adiaya's goal-bound effort and receiving a straight red card in the process. The gamble was deemed worth it, as Asamoah Gyan missed the resulting penalty, and Uruguay went on to win the shootout to progress to the semi-finals, much to the fury of the Ghanaian team and coaching staff. Suarez missed the semi-final but gained ownership of the rebranding of the Hand of God. How do you top that? Well, by going and biting Italy legend Giorgio Chiellini 4 years later, of course. Having starred by scoring both goals in Uruguay's 2-1 win over England, Suarez showed his other side immediately by losing his temper and sinking his teeth into Chiellini's shoulder. Suarez told the FIFA committee that he lost his balance, fell onto his opponent and hit his face against Chiellini before going on to apologise for the incident 5 days later. The World Cup in Qatar will give the genius of Luis Suarez one last platform to shine on the biggest stage. He will almost certainly be playing up front with Liverpool wildcard Darwin Núñez. Uruguay will certainly be a must-watch in Qatar as there's bound to be fireworks. Thomas Müller, Germany. It feels like Thomas Müller has been around forever now, and the youngster that shot to fame by tearing England apart in 2010 in South Africa is a seasoned veteran, going into his fourth and probably final World Cup campaign. At 33, Müller has achieved it all in the game, having won the World Cup in 2014, as well as an incredible 11 Bundesliga titles and 2 Champions Leagues for Bayern Munich. Whatever happens in Qatar, Müller is a Germany legend, having starred in almost every tournament he's been a part of, scoring 44 goals in his 118 caps. Despite the fact that other teams are favoured this time around, you can never count Germany and Müller out, and the German legend will have every confidence that he can go out on a high in 2022. Neymar Jr., Brazil. Could this really be Neymar's last ever World Cup? At the age of just 30, you'd expect the Brazilian star to have one more tournament in the tank at least. But he was quoted last year as saying that he thinks the showpiece in Qatar could be his last World Cup. Football fans will hope that isn't the case, as Neymar is one of the game's greatest ever entertainers, and we would hate to lose his flicks and tricks on the biggest stage. At club level, he's already completed the set, unsurprisingly, having played for that great Barcelona side before signing for a PSG team that tends to dominate Liga in France. In fact, he has 29 medals at club level, including 2 La Ligas, 4 Liga titles, and a Champions League title for good measure. He will no doubt be remembered as one of the greats in Brazil too, but legends like Pelé, Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho all have one thing on their CV that Neymar doesn't: a World Cup winner's medal. Neymar was handed the perfect opportunity to write himself into Brazilian folklore when the tournament was hosted in Brazil in 2014. He starred as the Seleção cruised to the quarterfinals, where it started to unravel for the hosts. Brazil beat Colombia to set up a showpiece semi-final against Germany, but a heartbreaking injury for Neymar ensured he wouldn't be part of what turned out to be the nation's biggest ever footballing embarrassment, as Germany went on to win 7-1 in a complete demolition job. Brazil are hot favourites amongst many to return from Qatar with the World Cup, and securing that missing title in his trophy cabinet could be enough to convince Neymar to hang up his international boots. If they do walk away with the title, Neymar will be at the very centre of it. Cristiano Ronaldo, Portugal. You knew this was coming, didn't you? Despite rarely featuring at club level for Manchester United, Cristiano Ronaldo cannot, as always, stay away from the headlines. He comes into the World Cup in Qatar at the centre of a media storm thanks to that explosive interview a week before the tournament, but will be looking to star at another World Cup in the hopes of completing the set. You don't need us to tell you this, but Ronaldo has done it all. Over 800 goals, 3 Premier Leagues, 2 La Ligas, 2 Serie A's, 5 Champions Leagues, and an inspiring European Championship win with Portugal. But there's one thing missing. At the age of 37, this is surely Ronaldo's last chance to get his hands on the biggest trophy of them all, and it would be the most Ronaldo thing to do if he pulls that off in Qatar in December. If anyone deserves to complete football, then it's the Portuguese star. Although there's another certain player in his last World Cup that would have something to say about that. Lionel Messi, Argentina. It's remarkable how the careers of Ronaldo and Lionel Messi have panned out side by side. As they both go into what is likely to be their last ever World Cup, it means at least one of the potential greatest players of all time will finish their career without ever landing the big one. In a much more understated way, Messi is never far from the spotlight and will be desperate to add the final piece of the jigsaw at the age of 35. 10 La Ligas, 7 Copa del Reys, and 4 Champions Leagues are the highlights of the Barcelona hero's incredible football journey so far. But until very recently, he was so often the nearly man when it came to the national team honours with his beloved Argentina. Like Neymar, Messi would never be compared to the great Diego Maradona without international silverware, And after near misses in 2007, 2015 and 2016, he finally won the Copa America in 2021 in Brazil to break his international duck. Still, one great trophy remains, and this is probably going to be Messi's last shot at it. His 90 goals make him Argentina's all-time leading goalscorer, but he would, no doubt, trade all of them in for a winner in the World Cup final in Qatar. Write in the comments if you feel any other football stars should be added to the list. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.